Good morning. Another beautiful day to talk about things in the deer stand. Today I wanted to talk about lessons learned from um, the last few months of my dad's life and how we could have done things a little better to make his transition and our transition without him a little easier. Fortunately, before he passed, we were able to um, update his will to what he wanted. We were able to get the deeds for the properties transferred into a transfer on death deed so that when he passed, it just automatically transferred over. Um, so those things were worked very well the way they're supposed to work. In the meantime, though, there were all kinds of things um, that we could have talked about. And we could have talked about those things earlier on before he got into his weakened state and before he broke his leg, but he just wasn't ready to talk about it. Even towards the time when we did get him to sign and talk to him about it, he was still very reluctant. Him and mom were very personal uh, people. They didn't like to share anything, their plans, their finances, uh, nothing. Um, they just kept everything close to their chest, which is fine if you're going for the gray man, trying to be anonymous in today's world. Um, but from a family perspective and transferring things to the next generation is not the way to do things. There are better ways. Um, After mom passed, dad went downhill for a while as expected. Um, then shortly after, uh, no, not shortly, a while after mom passed, um, he lost a brother. Dad was just starting to recover when he lost a brother. Um, and that set him back again. Actually, he lost the brother on his birthday. And then shortly after that, lost another brother. So it was pretty devastating for dad. Him being the oldest, he was supposed to go first, I'm sure, is what his thinking was. So he didn't really have the desire to stay, the desire to live. Um, in his apartment in Green Bay, he ended up breaking his leg, and it went downhill really fast after that. He decided not to rehab. Um, he decided not to cooperate, which led to uh, some big bills with the rehab facility. Um, he just he wanted to be on his own, but he couldn't even get out of bed, and it just wasn't an option. Our house at the time had steps just to get into it, and steps to the bedrooms, and it just wasn't an option. But while he was in rehab, we got him uh, to discuss the deeds for the property, and we had him sign the new deeds to get the property to transfer on death. He updated his will and took care of all of that. What was a big issue was talking about these things well in advance of his decline in health or even before mom's death. These are things that should have been made known to us and weren't. They just really refused to talk about it, and I can understand why. I have the same problem. Um, I'd rather talk about anything else, but the things like that we're all going to face at some point. But it left us with some difficult uh, messes after he passed. Um, Issues with a nursing home that um, he agreed to self pay while he was there. Um, this was after he had signed the will and all of that and transfer on death deeds and everything. but he was seeing tigers in his room when they decided to ask him about self-pay rather than going through Medicare, Medicaid, that kind of insurance. So I don't believe he was in the right mind to even be answering those kinds of questions, let alone agreeing to pay for things that he really had no idea what he was doing. Um, those things became an issue, or but could have been a lot worse had the properties had to go through probate. They would have had to pay for those services that should have gone to his Medicare, Medicaid services or insurance. So things like that were should have been taken care of before. Uh, I know he had the one thing he did take care of beforehand was cemetery plots for him and mom, and that worked out well. Um, he didn't have any other wishes that he vocalized, so we we did the same thing for him as what we did for mom. Same casket, same stone, same funeral arrangements, everything. Um, so that worked out, but he didn't make any of that clear. So hopefully that's what he wanted. The other things are things like issues with the house, or not even issues, just where where's the septic tank? Um, when's the last time it was cleaned out? Um, any issues with electrical, plumbing, taxes, anything. All of these things should have been talked about long before he became incapacitated and unable to talk about them. Those were things that we ran into after he passed that we had to deal with. And it was a struggle to find out these things, find the information. Um, Mom had left cryptic notes on some things, and based on her notes, we were able to determine some stuff, and other things, I hope we got it right. Uh, I guess all of this to say that it's it's a tough topic to talk about with your parents. Um, and in some cases, it may even be impossible to talk about with your parents. They may just outright refuse because they're old school and it's none of our business. But it is our business once they pass. And to have that kind of information, um, even as things as simple as insurance. Was there any life insurance plans, policies, anything like that? Nothing was readily available for us to find. Um, just nothing was simple with the passing of my parents. And if I learned anything, I would like to pass that on. That get those things resolved. At least if they don't want you to know. Have them put it in writing and put it in a safe somewhere and let you know where the key is. You don't have to know, but at least have that information available. Um, Taxes, housing information, important information about their finances, bank accounts, whatever. Once they pass, the power of attorneys are no longer valid, so you don't have that option, um, even if they've given you power of attorney beforehand. So get it all in writing. Get them to put it down somewhere and put it in a binder, put it in a safe. Like I said, they don't have to tell you what it is until after the fact, but I would rather have their hard work transfer on death than have to go through probate and have everyone trying to get a chunk or a piece of what they built. It's just not what I know. That's not what my parents would have wanted, and I don't think most parents want everybody and their brother in their business going through probate. I'm sure they would much rather have it transfer on death when they just pass and just assume the will takes care of it all, and it doesn't. Um, so get it down, get it in writing. If they want to share it with you, even better, but get it into a safe place that you can find it after they do pass. Um, that's the biggest lesson I've learned from my parents passing. Get the stuff done. They're tough conversations, but they have to be held before they get into an incapacitated state, uh, mental or physical. get it done, get it taken care of, put it in a safe place so you know where it's at and it's ready to go. Thanks.